I was kind of assured that everything would be okay.
We weren't really sure what we did wrong, so we were kind of like, what are we supposed to do? What did we do wrong? You know, how do we fix it? And then we went back and did it again, and we were all excited because it only took us twice to get it right.
After the rehearsals, we walked a long way where the buses met us around Madison Square Garden, and then everyone wanted to hurry up and get to Planet Hollywood so we could eat breakfast.
It was cool because the Planet Hollywood building was not like any other I'd seen, and it was very elaborate, all the stuff they had in it since it was in New York.
All the bands were eating in shifts, and the food was fine. They had some really cool paraphernalia from old movies, and we actually met. I talked to one or two kids from other bands, wish them luck and ask them where they were from.
It was so early and I hadn't slept. I wasn't even hungry. I was like so tired that I was like, oh my God, if I eat anything I'm going to throw up. I'm tired. I want to go back to sleep.
Getting back on the buses then, we went to a quiet area where the bus could park along the street, and it was funny to just look at the bus and see all kids all over. And
we're all just trying to find a way to get comfortable with someone sitting next to us on the bus, just trying to get a little bit of sleep because everyone was so tired.
Then the buses took off from there, dropped us off at the right street, and we were under strict orders. We didn't carry any instruments in cases, and cases that were under the bus were open. This is in case the New York police want to check you. Basically, when we were told to get off the bus, it didn't take any time at all because we were almost completely unpacked. And then we followed the leader, crossed the street to Central Park, and we went to our holding area.
Everyone was just blown away by everything. You know, on one side there's Central Park where all the balloons are coming in from, and on the other side from the city all the floats are rolling in. So people were, oh, look at that, and then, oh, look at that, and there was just all kinds of stuff. And we saw like M&M's float and Ronald McDonald, and I think we were behind Pikachu.
To see all these people so into it. Like, everyone had these really amazing costumes and floats that like we could never build or think of designing, and you see all the other bands, and we were small compared to some of them, and that was a new feeling for most of us.
We kept on having to let people through. There was another band waiting, and finally when our turn came, I was ready for it, but kind of nervous to get started on the parade.
Perhaps our most smartly attired band, the Riverview High School Kiltie Band from Sarasota, Florida. 252 members under the direction of David Nauman. This is their third parade appearance, and members wear authentic Scottish costumes to reflect Sarasota's Scottish heritage. Riverview High School Kiltie Band, welcome back to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
We have a parade. Obviously, the band can't play the entire time. The drum line has to play in between pieces just to give the kids an opportunity to rest their chops.
Usually in other parades, we don't play as many different cadences and stuff, and we don't go as far, so we were just so nervous because, my harness didn't fit, so I'm thinking, oh great, this is not going to be a good parade, and at first the pace wasn't too bad. It felt like a normal parade. I just kept telling myself that because, I didn't want to screw up, so I was just thinking, it's something we're doing at home.
Well, we started off and it went well. We kept going down the parade and I was feeling pretty good. We got to this one part in the parade where the percussion went to the wrong song and it messed up the whole order for a few blocks.
Doing the travel dance was not fun. It was very difficult to do because we'd be trying to go really, really fast, and then suddenly someone would stop, so we'd have to try to stop in our spot and do it in place, and then we'd have to start trucking again, and we're like, oh.
It's more strenuous because you're having to move down the street as you jump up and down and dance. It's a little easier on the field where you're stationary and you're bouncing around. But as you have to keep moving, and if the unit in front of you speeds up, you start dancing faster. And your shins react too to the asphalt. It's a hard surface to dance on.
It went so fast. Like, it was 2.5 miles, so I mean it lasted, but it really doesn't faze you because you have to like keep up. Some of these floats go faster than others, and we're going behind not the huge floats, but like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a little car. So like to keep up around the turns, we lose the band and we have to slow down a little bit. But the step size was huge, and you felt the burn by the end of that parade. If you didn't have some leg muscle when you came to New York, you were leaving with some.
The most memorable part of the parade is when we crossed 57th and Broadway, because you could see it was like you were on top of a hill and you were going down, and down the hill was all these buildings. It was almost like a tunnel that went around, and I looked up and I could see the Rod Stewart billboard and like all the stores around me and stuff, and it just looked so cool because you could see all the people in the buildings throwing confetti out, and it was just really touching.
Marching through New York and seeing all the buildings was really cool. You couldn't believe you were really there, but you didn't want to stop, because by the time we got to Times Square, they had soldiers sitting in the street, and they looked so happy and excited that we were doing something for them and that they got to experience that. And I thought they were so deserving of that feeling for doing what they do for our country. We had never been on a street that wide before, and we had never had even close to that many people watching us. So you didn't want to mess up.
There were a lot of people. Like on the sides, there's 20 people deep practically in some spots.
We would look around and you'd see all the people looking, and with our chins up we could see tons of people out the tops of windows in the big buildings.
As we got further and further into it, the crowd started growing and growing and growing, and the closer you got to Macy's, people would be sitting in windowsills and back 5 rows away from the street.
The people would just cheer and say, "Dance, dance," and it was just so exciting when they did that. It was just they really appreciated us. It was so much fun. Before we actually got to Macy's, it was just the best experience of my entire life.
We entered the quiet zone and we all got into our formation. Besides the people on the street, you could hear a pin drop. Everyone was ready. We had our show pretty down pat. We did our show and we got off of there fast. We had practiced hours and hours, and we get there and it's just seconds.
It's something that every high school person should get to experience at some point. The students that are in the marching band, they do it because they love to perform. I could think of no better stage to perform on than a live national television audience on Thanksgiving Day.
We got back to the hotel, and a lot of us loaded our garment bags pretty quickly. And after we ate the lunch, we all went back up to our rooms. We went to sleep.
Everyone, by the time they got done waking up at 1:30 in the morning till through a 2.5 mile parade, they slept until later that night when we all got together for dinner.
The dinner was actually very good. I remember them saying something 20-something turkeys or something to feed us all. It was an enjoyable dinner. We were all, I guess, more relaxed because Macy's was done with. We had finished the parade, so we could just kind of sit back and be and enjoy it.
Thanksgiving is a big holiday for my family, so I wasn't going in there with too much expectations, but we had our little drummer tables together, and it was just really cool to finally sit down for a holiday even, and just share that meal.
And then afterwards there was a dance, and the dance was really great. They actually played pretty good music. They didn't just play rap and R&B stuff. They played some rock and roll, so it appealed to everybody, and I think most of the band was dancing, and everyone seemed to be having fun.
Which was so much fun, because that whole day was really hard and stuff, and then there's time to unwind and kick back and